Graham, good to see you. Easter holidays, not for footballers, busy schedule, but a chance to extend the unbeaten run.
Yeah, it's a great chance. It's a great game for us, to be fair. It's a great game against one of the division's better teams. So, like I said to the lads, and I continue to say to them, if they want to be the best, they've got to benchmark against the best. And for me, Northampton are one of the best teams in the league, hence the reason why they are where they are. So it's a great opportunity, it's a great chance, and it really is a good opportunity for our lads to showcase their abilities, their qualities, and how far they have come. And the first game, I think it was my second game in charge, and the first time we played them this season was a real good encounter, and we played really well, and I want to see that same type of intensity, that same level of performance, but I want us to be a little bit more clinical tomorrow than we were in the first game.
Is that what this season is about from here on in now? Because you'd have to be a real pessimist to think that you're not safe.
Well, look, I've heard all this. If I just cast my mind back 2 seasons back, an old club of mine, Southend, they had 45 points and they ended up in the National League. So there's no such thing as safety or relegation. We don't really think that way. We don't really talk that way. But look, we want to get as many points as we can. We want to get as many wins as we can. We want to continue that performance. We want to continue them good runs that we've been going on. We've handled setbacks really well this season as well, to be fair. And in testimony to the group of lads, the first 3 months of the season wasn't great for them. They were all over the place when we come in. Their self-belief, their confidence was shattered. So we had to really pick them up, and how far they've come. Yes, we haven't really climbed the league table in the way we would have liked to, but what they've done over the last few months, certainly since myself and Joe come through the door, has been really uplifting, really inspiring, and we're definitely looking forward to the remainder of the season, and obviously next season.
Yeah, next season is not that far away, bizarrely, and there will be players out of contract. Obviously, you've spoken about the fact that despite the changes around the club, that you're very much looking forward to building. It's not an issue. How are contract discussions going? Not necessarily with players, but I'm sure you sat down around and have an idea who you want to keep around.
Well, look, the players are in, no doubt. The players know my thought process. I want to deal with the next 8 games, and I want to get as much as possible that we can out of the next 8 games. I want to be as good as we can, and I want them to be on the front foot for the 8 games. The 8 games are all that matters. Dealing with the next game is all we talk about, is all we look forward to, and that's Northampton tomorrow. But yes, if you want to talk about future, if you want to talk about beyond that, and the players are in no doubt where they stand with me. I've spoke to them. There'll be no major surprises, and the ball is always in a player's court. So it'll be up to them. They know where I'm coming from. I've been as plain as I can be and as simple as I can be with them regarding going forward. So they know where I'm coming from. They know what they need to do, and they know what their remit is. For future, but like I say, we deal with one game at a time, and let's deal with Northampton first. There won't be any major changes or at and around the place. The players know exactly where we're coming from. I spoke to 1 or 2 personally, and that was that's up to them guys to deal with that. But all the rest know what they're doing.
You know, in football that bad decisions come, or decisions that you don't agree with come, but it's that honesty and clarity, and that's what you've provided. Is that what you're saying?
I've spoke to a couple of players. I spoke to a couple of players at the football club, and they're never nice conversations. But I spoke to them. But the majority of the players know what they're doing and what I have in mind.
So no excuses not to go in to the game against Northampton fully focused then.
Yeah, they'll be. Look, one thing they've been focused. They've been relatively good, really good on occasions. And there's only been 2-3 occasions, which I was quite surprised about, really, to be honest. There's only been 2 or 3 occasions that I've really had to have a nibble at them, really had to have a go at them. Now that for me tells me how good the group are, because given given our league position, you would have expected that nearly every week or once a week or more often than it's happened. So for me to only be going after them on 3 occasions since I've come through the front door is testament to the group. And I want them to start achieving. I want them to be successful, and I want them to start fulfilling that potential. And but the big thing for us will be, I think we know we're not daft as a football club, as supporters, fan group, media, players, management. We need to start turning them draws into wins, and if we can do that, I'm sure this club will be on an upward trajectory.
And I guess you want to excite both yourself and the fans about next season, about what you can show in these next 8 games to really give fans something to spend their summer dream about.
Yeah, look, anybody knows me knows I don't get too excited too often, so it'll be you'll have a tough job pleasing me, to be quite honest. But look, they've shown some really good performances, and that's one thing that has been consistent since we've come in. The performances have been really good, really solid. We're a really tough team to play against. We're a hard team to beat, and we play some really, really good stuff. We don't get an awful lot of credit, and that's probably where we are. That's probably goes along with the start of the season, and probably where we are in the division. But you ask the Swindons, you ask the Stevenages, the Mansfields, the Northamptons, those teams that we've gone up against this season, and they will probably tell you how good we were, how good we are, how good we can be. So look, I've been really, really pleased with what we've got from the lads. I just don't want them to come off it. I just want them to be at it. I want them to produce, and I want them to make people sit up and take notice of them. As I said to them, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And the lads have got a real opportunity to finish this season strong. Didn't start too well, let's finish well. They didn't come out of the blocks in August, September. I'm asking them to finish the season strong and carry that on into the summer.
And just finally, any fresh injury worries ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, you get mixed up with the days, to be fair. Yeah, the only one, we've had some bad news regarding Oz and Zala. Oz won't be with us for the remainder of the season. Obviously, he's had a problem with a knee injury, so he's had to have a little operation on that. So Oz won't be with us for the rest of the season. The rest of the lads, we're just waiting on some news this morning. We'll train this morning, see how Presley Fackhausen is. We'll assess him during the session this morning. But other than that, I don't think there's too many problems. There will be knocks and bruises and bumps. And come what Tuesday, Wednesday, some of the lads were still recovering from last Saturday's game. Such was the pitch. It was really, really heavy last Saturday, and it was impossible for both teams really. So we had to give the lads an extra day's recovery, given the surface that we played on last Saturday. So other than that, no, I think we've got a clean bill of health, and obviously Declan Drysdale is up and running, and he's been in the squad the last couple of weeks. So other than that, I can't think off the top of my head of anything injury wise. No.
Thanks, Graham.
Brilliant.
What's the Priestley injury? Is that is it?
Priestley he's just picked up some tightness. He's just picked up some soreness. He had a little bit of swelling on the knee. So there was a combination of 2 or 3 little bits and pieces. He's come a long way as well. I've asked a lot of him. He's played a lot of games for me. So it was always going to take its toll. So I guess it might be a case of just maybe taking him out of the firing line for a couple of weeks, rest, recover, recuperate. And now I'm going to maybe try and get him back involved and push him for the last 8 games of the season. That comes with obviously the lack of pre-season. That comes with the lack of a full season, shall we say, because he's relatively a novice when it comes to the professional game. So yeah, it's probably TLC. There's nothing major. There's nothing major. Just some bumps and bruises, some swelling here and there. But I'm hoping he comes through this morning's training session, and we can have him with us for the last 8 games of the season.
Managing, I think even before your time, he was being managed. He was on the back from coming back from a knee injury, and it's daft. Well, not daft. No one would do it, would they? Risk someone's. You've got to be careful.
Well, it's tough because he's not weathered. He's not a seasoned pro. He's relatively new to the professional game, so it's tough when you're first or your second season in. You need time to acclimatise, and I can see him actually getting himself fit. If we push him for the last 8 games of the season, I would then be expecting him to be in a position to challenge for 46 appearances next season. rather than, as you say, rather than managing them through a season. But yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully having them back with us for the remainder of the season.
Has there been a mindset shift since the first Northampton game? Because you went there and then it was against Mansfield and Northampton. It was very much we've turned defeats into draws, whereas now you're looking to go 1-3. Yeah,
I think that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing that we had to, when we come in at first, I think we had to stop the rot. I think we had to give the players belief and confidence, and we had to make the players believe they could compete with the teams, i.e. as you say, Mansfield and Northampton, with the teams up that end of the table. Now I think we've done that, and I think we've more than done that, to be fair. So it's now, as you quite rightly say, turning defeats into draws. Now we're at the stage where we need to start turning draws into wins. And it'll be a great benchmark for us to see how far we've come, because if I recall, I think Northampton was probably one of our better performances. We should have really put them away. We should have really had the game done and dusted by half time. But again, those vulnerabilities, you know, the confidence and that maybe the lack of fitness was a 90th, 92, 93 third minute goal that Northampton got. So all of that, we're probably in a better place, but the downside of that is Northampton would be in a better place as well, to be quite honest. I looked at them last week, 2 weeks ago was it, against Donny, and I was really impressed with them. And they've got goals all around, they're efficient, they do their jobs well, and they're managed really, really well by John Brady and Colin Calderwood, two really good guys. And they work their socks off. So I'm really looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great game. I think it'll be a clash of two really good teams, two informed teams in the league as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how our boys have come on and how they equip themselves against one of the top teams in the division.
There's almost similarities in that sometimes they don't get maybe the respect they deserve because they score a lot of set piece goals, but that's an important part of the game. But they like you, score a lot of set piece goals. You score set piece goals as well, but you can play better stuff as well.
Well, they're up there for a reason. They're up there for a reason, and they're probably up there for a reason because some of the reasons might be they tick all the boxes. Yeah. They're very good at all aspects of the game. They don't give silly goals away. They don't make silly errors. They're clinical in front of goal. They take chances. They've got numerous sources of goals. They score from set pieces. They defend the box well, and they create down the other end of the pitch. Between the two boxes, there's much of a muchness in this division, but the clinical side of this division is in both boxes. So yeah, they're not too dissimilar to ourselves. I've seen them on a number of occasions. If I'm being honest, I like the way we play. I like some of the stuff that we come up with, and I think we can more than match them at times. But the league table doesn't tell us that. Now I've got to delve into the reasons why they're up there and we're not. Yes, I can come up with this, that and the other. We can make excuses for this, that and the other, but they're above us in the league table, and that's something that I need to sit down in the summer and I need to really look into. And I really need to find answers. I really need to find reasons. But this division is about being clinical. It's about being decisive, and I keep saying that to players. And Northampton are both clinical and decisive.
And finally, in terms of the contract, have you already made your mind up on every player, or is there a chance for some of them maybe to this run-in change your mind, as it were?
Yeah, listen, there's always a chance to change your mind, and don't forget those who you've made your mind up on and you want to hold on to, they could actually play their way out of your thoughts. So there's all sorts to play for between now and the end of the season. But I've sat down with the players. I obviously read one or two bits and pieces over the last few weeks regarding thought process and mindset going into the final hurdle and the final 8 games of the season. So I just wanted to alleviate any worries or any stresses, and I also wanted to help one or two lads, give them an early start to get out and get their name out there and get looking. So yeah, there's not going to be too many. There's not going to be lots and lots of change. There's not going to be many surprises. It's about probably settling the dressing room down and reassuring them that they've done brilliantly well for us. But I want more, and I want them to show over the last 8 games why I have such faith in them.